Pignat's corner, beyond Bent. Janssen! And Blackburn Rovers are 18 minutes away from a Premiership return.
As far as Stewart, just outside the penalty area, flips it central. For David Dunn! David Dunn equalises! It just had to be! Dax corner and it goes. Glance towards goal! And Rovers have taken the lead! And Charlie Mulgrew has scored his 14th of the season. It may well be the goal that sends Rovers back into the Championship.
Good evening, Rovers fans, and welcome to another edition of On the Other Side with me, Ryan Hildred, from the Rovers Chat website. After our fantastic 3-0 victory away at Preston North End last time out, the games continue to come thick and fast as we entertain Barnsley at Ewood Park tomorrow evening. I am delighted to be joined by Barnsley fan Andy Symcox from the Red All Over YouTube channel. How are you this very cold evening, Andy?
Cold? No, I'm all right. I'm in the living room. Yeah, I'm not at the back of the stand. I'm all right. That's tomorrow, isn't it? Oh, no, it's not. Oh, no, I'll still be on my living room sofa tomorrow. Oh, yeah. Get confused. No, I'm fine. Fine, Ryan.
I might as well be back at the stand with how cold it's getting in this garage, but no, it's all good. So, Andy, before we make a start, it's just a little word to our sponsors, 6yardsout.com. The Rovers Chat YouTube channel is proudly sponsored by 6yardsout.com. They've got retro football from every era with mugs, phone cases and much more. They also have plenty of Rovers goods, including apparel with the famous 94-95 season and this season's kit. Check them out using the link in the description below. Thanks as ever to the guys at 6yardsout.com for their kind sponsorship this season. Rovers fans, if you do want to interact with Andy and I tonight, you can get involved, of course. You can give us some comments in the chat box. And if you are not following us on Twitter, we are Rovers_chat on Twitter. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rovers Chat, to stay up to date with all of our content as we edge closer to 1,000 followers on YouTube, Andy. 1,000 subscribers. That's good news for us. So hopefully someone will be the 1,000th subscriber. We may do a little prize, we may not, but there's an incentive there for people. But that's the only way to stay up to date with all things Rovers Chat. So, Andy, we're going to make a start with a preview if we can. Barnsley gave Rovers 2 really tough games last season, I thought. The home game, I don't know if the Barnsley fans picked up on this. Tony Mowbray was actually under a bit of pressure before we played you at Ewood Park. You pegged us back twice and we eventually ran out 3-2 winners. But I was quite impressed with you at Ewood that game. And then the other game, following the lockdown, it was a 2-0 victory, a fairly easy 2-0 victory, I think, for Barnsley at Oakwell. Do you think Barnsley are a little underestimated in this division?
It could be. It could. Teams like Barnsley, little old Barnsley. I'm sure you've had it sometimes. Nice mugs, by the way. Nice mugs.
That's look me. Six yards out mug right there. There you go.
Looks wrong colour, but they look all right. Yeah, it should be red and white, but we'll leave it. Yeah. I mean, it was a strange season last season for us because we honestly believed that we'd get relegated. We've got a young side, and we've still got a young side. That needed to, all came together at the start of last season. We made so many silly mistakes. It was ridiculous. The number of times we played all right, we played decent football, but we made ridiculously poor mistakes, individual errors, and it wasn't just one; it was a number of them. So, I mean, obviously, I'm a Barnsley fan. So when you beat us 3-2 at Ewood Park, we were robbed. Obviously, we were robbed. I can't remember why we were robbed, but we're always robbed when we don't win. So there you go. When the lockdown came and there was no football at all, everybody, we all just thought, apart from the host of our show, Joe Beardsall, who's truthfully a happy clapper, and he can't. It's a shame. It's a real shame. He can't help himself. The rest of us honestly believe we'd get relegated. So when football came back, we thought, let's finish the season off and let's see what happens next season. Let's hope that we can come back up. We were a different team. Absolutely different team when we came back. We couldn't stop winning. And we stopped conceding, apart from once against Stoke, I think. We got hammered by Stoke away. we couldn't stop flipping winning. It became a bit embarrassing. And obviously, I believe it. It were the 2-0 at Oakwell against yourselves were quite, for us, an easy win, because normally, see, I'm 66, Ryan, and normally if we're winning 4-0, we'll give 3 goals away with 10 minutes to go, so that it's going like that, and and it won't, and it's not good for blood. It's not good for blood pressure. So it made a change. That match actually made a change. So I thought we played pretty well. And we started this season up and down. It depends who turns up. If the team that turns up is the one that played at Derby and the team that played against Forest, then we'll give you a really good game. If it's the team that played away to Cardiff and the team that played against Brentford, a few days ago, you'll beat us easily, because it's nobody knows which team's going to turn up. I hope the proper team will turn up. The one that presses and the one that's got high energy, not the one that's shattered and it's a game too far. But we'll see, won't we? We'll see.
Absolutely. And then you've mentioned this season, you've made a pretty solid start, haven't you? You're 7 points above the relegation zone on 16 points, and you're only 2 points, 2 places, and 1 win behind Rovers. And we've been getting loads of plaudits this season. Is this the type of season you were hoping for? Just one where you're not looking over your shoulder. It's one where you might just, be mid-table, yes, and just have nothing to worry about, really.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I was predicting that we'd finish, quite optimistically, really, that we'd finish mid-table, around where we are now, or maybe slightly higher. Others have predicted we're going to be down at the bottom. We've got a young fan that comes on our show now and again, Jack, and he predicts that we're going to finish 24th. And his mother sent him to bed without any supper, so he's sorted out. We've also got Joe's dad, Kev, who's convinced we're going to be in the playoffs. So it's never. We'll finish up, I hope, somewhere in the middle. But we're either doomed or we're all happy clappers and we're going up. We're not going up, Ryan. Ignore them all. We're not going up. But I hope we'll win as many as we lose, I think. And I think that's, for us this season, with the side we've got, it is a young side, that'll be good enough.
Yeah. And when I think about Barnsley, I don't live too far from Barnsley. I live in Lincolnshire, so it's not too far away. I think of you as a solid, traditional Yorkshire club. But actually, you look at the last 4 permanent managers, they've all been foreign. Jose Moraes, Daniel Stendel, Gerhart Stroober and Valerian Ismail. Is there more of a modern philosophy about Barnsley these days, particularly going and getting these younger foreign managers?
Yeah, I mean, we for a number of years, we were rescued. Well, in the mid 2000s, we were rescued by Patrick Crine, who was a Barnsley guy who rescued the club, and he employed local managers. He employed some Barnsley lads as managers and what have you. And then sadly, he got cancer and he died a few years ago. And really sad. He sold us to a consortium, an American consortium, fronted by Chen Lee and Paul Conway. And we've had people know about this. Part of the setup has been Billy Bean, who's the Moneyball and the spreadsheets and all that. And it's been a different philosophy. I think I don't care whether they're local managers or foreign managers. It's how we play, and certainly over the last couple of seasons, as a club, we've decided that we will play a high pressing game and a certain style of like that, press quickly and press high up the pitch. And then we've appointed managers to do the same, rather than we appoint a manager and then they bring their own philosophy. We've been marrying the head coach called manager to the philosophy that we've decided as a club to play. So although there's been a few changes, it's generally been it's been consistent in the style. We need stability. I want Ishmael to stay. We try, well, certainly me and a few of my friends try not to mention Jose Moraes, because that was, oh dear me. That from my point of view, that was not a good appointment, and it didn't work out very well. It was really problematic. And then we got Daniel Stendel, who was outstanding. He was absolutely outstanding. we loved him to bits. The town got to love him. He went out for a drink in the town and, met up with Barnsley fans and were drinking, having a drink in the Garrison pub where our show's based. And that was lovely. That was lovely. It ultimately, after promotion, it didn't work out. And so we got someone who's a bit more defensive minded in Gerhart Stroober. Now, Gerhart Stroober had come from Austrian football, from Wolfsberger, and he'd been part in his past. He'd been part of the Red Bull stable, if you want to call it that. And then, of course, not only a couple of months ago, or less, the Red Bulls as a stable came forward and wanted him for the MLS in America. So off we went to the New York Bulls over there, the Red Bulls in there. So off he went and returned to his family, if you want to call it that. Weren't sure what was going to happen next, and obviously we've got the Frenchman Valerian Ismail, who again has cut his teeth in Austrian football and believes in the same sort of football. We get it forward a bit quicker under Ismail than we did under Stroober, and that can sometimes leave you vulnerable. But it gives us less possession. We used to have a lot of possession, but absolutely done nothing with it. Just possession for possession's sake. We get it forward a lot quicker, which is as good as a counter-attack. What we've got to do, and we've not been doing what we've got to do over these last few matches, is to control the ball better and keep hold of the ball better, because we haven't been doing that. We've given it away much too cheaply. But we're not. I think we're on 0 point. A goal difference of 0, so we've scored as many as we've conceded, which is a good start for us. It's a good start, and as you've said, we're a couple of points behind yourselves, and obviously, if we win tomorrow, and it's a bit of an if, we'll go above you, and I will smirk. I'll smirk if we go above you. I'll be smug. If we go above you, but I'm not going to be smug. On our show, I'm just going off a topic here. On our show, we do the comments like you have on yours. We have a thing about a lot of our subscribers post predictions, and they're normally pretty. There's some predictions that are clearly saying we're going to win, and you always know if we've won for me, I always know if we've won the last game or not, because the predictions vary. So after the Brentford match, and it wasn't good, it was unlucky. They got I'll not go into that. We should have stopped their goal, and we should have had a penalty. We should have won, but we didn't deserve to win. I'll tell you that. We didn't deserve to win at all. But it's not that positive so far, and obviously there's still a bit of time yet. And it's usually on a Friday night that most people look at the show. We've had 20 predictions, 2 for a Barnsley victory and 10 for a Rovers victory. So we're not as most positive at the minute, and I think it's that flipping Adam Armstrong that we used to have on loan. It's him. I think you need to give, when we finish, give Tony Mowbray a ring and say he's looking a bit tired. Give him a rest. Him and Bradley, give him a rest. Tell him to put his feet up. We can manage without him today. But if he's not playing, it'll be a lot. And that is it. Brereton on the wing.
Yeah,
he needs to give up for a bit. I don't want. It's for his own good. I don't want your players. They're only young lads as well. I don't want them to burn out. So what they need to do, it's only a team like Barnsley. It's only little old Barnsley. Tell them to put their feet up and watch from the stand. I'm not to bother. Just not bother.
So I get the sense you're a little bit worried about this game. And Andy, there's a bit of love for you in the comments. Luke Kimberley, already my favourite on the other side guest this season. So you're making a good impression on the show, Andy. And I should give Luke his credit actually as well, because he made a stonking prediction on Wednesday night for the Preston game. And yeah, some predictions can be good, is what he's commented in our comments box here. He got it bang on the money. It was the Preston derby game. So Luke is a whole. Yeah, great result, and Luke is a Hall of Famer on this show for that prediction. So that was good. Andy, you've half answered my next question with what you said about Gerhart Stroober there. It was the greatest of great escapes for Barnsley last season, and I don't know why. I was listening to TalkSport 2 when you were playing Nottingham Forest in that second to last game, and when you scored that goal, I thought that is a huge goal, not just for you but also for Forest, and it did turn out that way, didn't it? when New York Red Bulls came after him, was there a bit of sadness there that the man that had done that great escape had been poached?
It was, yeah, because it only, well, as it's turned out, it was only with us a year, and much as I said that we're sort of appointing managers that follow the same playing philosophy, we've got stability of the team. They're a very young side, but they've all been signed, the vast majority, on 3 and 4 year contracts. So there's something to be said there about maintaining the stability and them growing together. And we'd hoped, I personally hoped that Daniel Stendel would carry them forward, but obviously that wasn't to be. Stroober, it was an incredible. I'll tell you this, Ryan, because it's a bit embarrassing. There was a show, a production company that's doing. I don't know where it's at with it and what they're going to do with it, but they were setting up a championship film documentary for last year, but obviously because of COVID. So they contacted a few people and said, "Is anybody interested?" Well, a number of people from different clubs. Anybody interested in being filmed? Doing a pre-match, a post-match, and being actually filmed like this, being filmed while the match is on. And they approached us, so I weren't sure what to. So I agree. We're bitter lucky if they'll all just go away and they'll not do it. They'll not.
Which game was it?
Well, I did the last three. It was the last three. So it was Leeds away where we lost 1-0 and absolutely hammered them. And they're one of our local rivals. Hate losing to Leeds, but obviously. And then there was the Notts Forest, and then the Brentford. So I'm being video, and you forget. Brutally, you forget. What's embarrassing is that in the Brentford match, obviously we scored an injury time winner against Notts Forest to put us in with a. Well, not really much of a chance because we got to beat them and hope other results went our way. Brentford needed to win to be promoted automatically. So we didn't go in any great hope. And obviously we scored first, so it's 1-0. So we've scored first, and all the other results are going against us. So we're still going down, and that's the Barnsley way. Do well, but still go down. And then they equalised, but then results went our way. And of course, it comes to the last, the last bit, and they gave. I think it were about 6 minutes added time. 2 minutes into it, we obviously scored to make it 2-1. So we were going to stay up for 4.5, nearly 5 minutes. All there is me sat on my sofa screaming, "Blow your whistle! Just blow your whistle!" He flipping didn't until he did, and then I'm too old for this. I shrieked, because none of us, apart from soft Joe Beardsall, none of us expected it to happen. And I couldn't believe it. Absolutely incredible. So, here we are.
There you go. And I must say, your current manager, Valerian Ismail, I don't know anything about him. He was appointed last month. What have you seen so far? You've spoken about getting the ball forward a lot quicker than Stroober. What else have you seen in the month that you've had him?
Well, the difficulty, they keep saying that we're playing vertical football, but nobody's actually explained to me what vertical football is. So I've absolutely no idea. What I will say is that over the last number of matches, until he came, we were playing. We've got Connor Chaplin as one of the strikers, who's I don't know how tall he is, but he's about 3'6", and we're playing against huge defenders. So what do? We put up high balls. Here, our challenge for that. We never won anything in the air, ever. So at least under Ishmael, rather than just smack it down the middle high, here, I'll get your head on that, or not, we put it more down the channels for him to run onto. And he's quick. He's not the only one, but the quicker. So I've seen that, and that's a definite improvement. It looks as though we couldn't buy a goal. But the downside is that we've not got a player that can hold it up other than Corley Woodrow, and we're not holding the ball upfield well enough to give the defence a break. We can break quickly when we want to, and we can threaten the goal. But when it's played up on normal play, we're not really keeping it up there and relieving a bit of pressure. So that's a bit of a downside. But we've won since he's come. 6 games. We've won 4 games out of 6. The 2 that we've lost were rubbish, really rubbish. But the 4 that we've won, we've done well, and we've. It's Derby County away. It's not an easy place to respect where they are. It's not an easy. Oh well, actually, we call them Rooney County, but we'll not go into that. We've done them. We've done them from Derbyshire, and obviously we've done Forest. You know, what more do you want? What more do you want? And neighbours like, all we need to do now is beat Sheffield Wednesday, who my son, or he used to when he was 10, he used to think that they were called Sheffield Wednesday nil. But hopefully it'll be the same when we play them in the not distant future. I hope it'll be Blackburn Rovers nil on Saturday. But,
well, hopefully not.
Armstrong as the rest, I'm not sure it will be. You're scoring for fun, aren't you? You know, we are. Yeah, you conceded one more than us, but you're scoring a lot of goals. So
a lot.
Bradley Dack always plays well against us, which is he needs a break. I could see it. He needs a break. He must be getting tired. He needs a rest.
Don't worry about Bradley Dack. He's been having a rest for about the last 12 months. He did his ACL last December.
Oh, is it? So,
yeah, he ain't going to be.
He's not been playing.
He's not been playing at all. No. So this team's been playing like this without Bradley Dack, believe it or not, for the last 12 months.
Right. Oh, that's all right. We're going to thrash you then. That's it. Oh, tune into this. Tune in. We're going to get a thrashing. Oh, my God. Just rest out and we'll be all right.
Andy, you're getting a lot of love on the comments. Alexander Haben, top bloke, and then Dizzy Thumbs. Great information from Andy. You can tell he loves his team. Absolutely, that's coming across, Andy, that you do love your team. So I just want to look at your start in a bit more detail. Interesting that you said it's 4 wins from 6. So you've had 4 wins, 4 draws, 5 losses, and then just the one away win at Derby, who have been struggling. What's the overall form been like, and in particular away from home? Is that a bit of an Achilles heel away from home?
It's yeah. We've certainly been better at home. You know, and that's I think that's reflected in what people think today. You know, from our predictions, that only 2 are predicting that we're going to win. So it just shows you. I think, unless, of course, it's, you know, with Barnsley, it could be reverse psychology that if we all predict that we're going to lose, that you're going to win, then it'll just we hope that it's going to spur our team on to prove us wrong. Maybe that's what it is. And if we said that you're going to absolutely thrash us, then if any of your, you know, if you get it across to any of your players, then they might think, oh, it's Barnsley, we'll not bother. It's easy. Even they think it's easy, and they'll not bother, and we'll thrash you. So, you know, it could be that. Yeah, away from home, we've had mixed fortunes. Like you say, we've only won the one, but we've had mixed fortunes. We've drawn a couple, but we've not. We've played all right, but we've not pulled up any trees or anything like that.
No. And you've spoken a little bit about your pressing game, Andy, and I must say I noticed that at Ewood last season. I've definitely noticed that. How do you think you're going to approach the game? Do you think you're going to do that press, going to carry on doing that? Or do you think Ishmael is going to try and contain Rovers a little bit, particularly with how much we've been scoring?
Right. I would have said, if we'd have been talking on Monday, I would have said we'll continue our pressing game because it's what we do best and it gives us the best outcomes, if you like. What we did against Brentford at home on Tuesday was not, because I'm assuming that we thought that if we press too far, then there's going to be room for quick strikers behind us. So we didn't press and we hung back a bit and we got egg on our face. Not just with the result, because the result could have been different. It shouldn't have been different, but it could have been different. But by the sheer possession that Brentford had, we weren't at the races. So we were trying to play a game that's not in our nature, if you like. So, like I said right at the start, it depends which Barnsley turns up. If the young, youthful Barnsley that gets at them turns up, it should be a good game. You'll have a lot of possession, but it'll be a good game. If the Barnsley that turned up against Brentford, which is hang back a bit so as not to try and limit your strikers and your chances, you'll beat us. And you could well beat us easily. We could have lost much more easily against Brentford, although though some things went for us, some things went against us.
We've actually struggled against sides like that this season, though, Andy. When sides have come to Ewood Park in particular and sat back, we do struggle to break sides down. And despite all of those goals, we've had games where we've been really unclinical, actually. So it could be a tactic for Barnsley, actually. You never know. What formation do you play under Ishmael?
It's normally 3-4-3 And that's been the slight change that we played that before under Stroober, but the three up front we used to have, it was more or less two strikers and one just behind the striker. Like what people call nowadays a number 10. So just part of the strike force, but just behind them. Under Ishmael, it's been much more three strikers, where one down the middle, usually Coley would draw, and then two up there with him, but wider, and they interchange sometimes. They change wings sometimes. So that'll be that is a difference, that we press. We press quite well down the flanks as well, but and then three at the back. Although the two wing backs were full backs that are now wing backs.
Yeah. And who are going to be your danger men tomorrow at Ewood Park?
Adam Armstrong. It varies. I would say if it was one, I would say Coley would draw. He's an outstanding striker, and he's a lovely guy that loves the club and has come on leaps and bounds for us, and he's a focal point for us. Connor Chaplin couldn't buy a goal early on this season, but his work rate is incredible. And now, instead of, I suppose the whole club, the whole strikers, instead of sort of trying to tee it up and walk it into the net, they've started shooting and hitting it. And that's certainly been the case with Connor Chaplin, because he can shoot. So that's got better. From midfield, we've got Alex Mowat, who's scored two stunning goals from distance. And, he's the captain, and he makes us tick alongside Matty James. Wide on, at left wing back, but he's actually a central midfield player. We've got Callum Stiles, only a young lad, Callum, that we got from Bury before they sadly went out of business. And he is an outstanding player. I would say, truthfully, our best player is Callum Stiles, only young, but what a player he is. He's that lad has got it all. Watch for him. Callum, I think he's number 4. Watch for Callum
Stiles. Well, watch out for Callum Stiles then. And if Rovers are going to exploit any areas of weakness in Barnsley tomorrow, where are we going to have some joy?
I don't know what you're talking about. We haven't got any weaknesses. I'm not telling you any Barnsley weaknesses. Like I said, you don't have to Tony Mobley, do you?
Tony's on here. Tony's watching right now.
I'll tell him
the weakness.
Because I'll tell him wrong. What I'm going to say now to you is the God's honest truth. Right, our 3 centre backs are strong centre backs, but one of the things that we've been doing this season, or recently under Ishmael, instead of having one sort of sweeping up behind the other two, if you like, we've been playing very square between, in a line, if you like. So it is possible. It is just possible to get round the back of us. They're all good in the air. They're all good at tackling, but it's certainly possible to get behind us. But balls down the channels. If you've got quick strikers, I'm not going to keep mentioning him, but like you've got up front, that whatever his name is, him who's not going to play tomorrow. If you put, him, if he had been playing, I know he's not, but if he had been playing, then his speed down the channels, he could cause us problems. And Brereton, I've got that right.
Brereton, yeah.
He's a quick lad.
He is a quick lad, and we had a big revelation this week. Actually, we all found out he's half Chilean. It was buried on the club website. He'd done an interview before to say that his mother was Chilean, and all the Rovers fans in Chile started hammering us to say, "Can he come and play for Chile?" We were like, "What the?" And then so Ben Brereton, half Chilean. So do you play a high defensive line then, or do you think you're going to sit back because of Armstrong?
I think we push up a bit. We try to compress it by pushing up. When we've got the ball, we drop back, or the defence drops back. But it is possible, in my opinion. Other people might think differently, but in my opinion, it is possible to get round the back of us. And of course, the young lads. We've got a couple of young defenders there. And the switch off, if they're concentrated for every minute of the game, then I don't think it would be a problem, because they'll be able to anticipate stuff. But sometimes, just at the crucial time, they occasionally switch off. Maybe once a game, they just switch off. And, when we were, last season towards the end, the teams weren't capitalising on it. If you've got players that capitalise on mistakes, then we make them, but we capitalise on others' mistakes when we can.
Yeah. And on the flip side, then, what's your view on Rovers? What have you made of our season and how we play?
I'm glad Bradley Dack's not playing. I'll tell you, whenever he's played against Barnsley, he's been out. Oh God, I'm sorry for him actually, because I think I really rate the guy as a player, and I wish we had him. I wish we'd still got Adam Armstrong. I really do wish we'd still got him. Not because he's scoring a lot of goals, but and it's funny, he played Preston earlier this week. When he was at Oakwell, he scored one of the best goals that I've seen a Barnsley player play. I think it was away at Preston, where he chased a ball that he had no chance of getting to, and by speed got in front of the defender. The defender got behind him. He twisted and turned, set him. He had no idea. He did like a Cruyff turn and slotted it in. One of the best goals I've seen for.
I think I remember that one.
So he's a player I would. He's a player I would really. I'd really like us to have. Who else you got? Ayala. Is Ayala still playing? Or is
he's been a bit injury prone since he's joined us, and actually he's probably lost his place to our young centre back Scott Wharton. But yeah, we have got Daniel Ayala. I think he should be fit for tomorrow, but whether he plays or not, I'm not sure.
You need to bring him on gently. Don't bring him on, because he's always been good against us. A really hard lad. And we've got we're a young team with delicate little flowers. We don't need somebody tough like him to be sorting us out. We need somebody to treat us gently. We're from Yorkshire. We're not like you a lot from Lancashire. We're from Yorkshire. We're little flowers. We've got just so you know, I'm not just in Lancashire. Just so you know, my 40-year-old son John, he lives in Bacup, and his lad, he's in junior school. My grandson Jack, he comes to the Ewood Park Community Centre to play football. What's just down the road? Is it Soccer Dome or something like that, or Soccer Zone? Just down the road from Ewood Park. So I've regularly gone to watch him play indoor soccer. So and I know that area reasonably. So not be quite like going home, but I've been to Ewood Park a few times. It's been good and bad. You've hammered it sometimes, and we've won sometimes. So it'll be a good one tomorrow for us.
That's it. Well, you've stoked the War of the Roses here, Andy. Luke Kimberley's coming in, Lancashire, la, la, la. I'm not from Lancashire, so I'm relying on Luke there. And Luke, is the soccer dome down the road from Ewood? Can you confirm that? Because I only know Ewood Park, really, about Blackburn. And so I need someone in the comments to confirm that. And Kevin Bradshaw, got to do a post-match. So what that means is we do a post-match stream, Andy. You should come on one day onto our show, and we'll have some banter after a game, maybe. I don't know. So you're getting a lot of love. Andy, this is part of
we're all the North. We're all locked down in Tier 3.
Yeah, I'm Tier 3 as well. Luke's confirmed that the Soccer Dome is down the road from Ewood Park. So there you go.
What you're talking about is confirmed. I'm not lying to you.
Well, I didn't know.
Hey, I'm not Donald Trump. You don't have to fact check it. Flipping it, Ryan. I've come on here out the goodness of my heart, and you're getting people fact checking.
It's the day and age we live in. We've got to fact check everything, haven't we? Everyone tells fibs. Andy, this is part of the show where I do like to find some links between the two clubs, and I've failed miserably. So again, if someone in the comments can tell me anyone who plays for Barnsley that's got a Rovers link, I can't find one. So I'm going to ask a couple of things instead, just because someone commented right at the start. It's Luke again. So Dan, it was a second comment. Adam Armstrong greater than Balotelli. What's going on with Balotelli?
I can't. Right, Balotelli. He used to play for. Who did he used to play for in France?
Nice, is it? Was it Nice?
Yeah, and our owners used to. They sold it a number of months, 6 months ago, maybe a bit longer. I don't know. They used to own Nice, so they knew it. They know of him. We have been desperate for a striker. We have difference of opinion. I think we need a tall, strong target man that can hold the ball up. Other people think we need a mobile one, somebody that can hold the ball up, but a mobile one. So we've not signed a striker in the window, and truthfully, we sold Kiefer Moore a year and a bit ago, and we've not replaced his type of footballer. And for me, that's a crying shame. Like I said, we give the ball away sometimes a bit too easily. So we've been looking at free agents. Now, one of the difficulties with free agents, which is why we've not signed any free agents, is that they're not up to speed. You know, we don't want to get. There's not that long before the window opens again. So we don't want to be signing somebody who's not up to speed and then spend the next 2 months getting them up to speed. So because they know him and because Balotelli is a free agent, because he was released by his hometown club, Brescia, they made an inquiry into it. This is as I understand it anyway. We made an inquiry, like we did a number of players, and obviously they knew him. So it got no further than that. And I think, certainly from my point of view, I think that he's a wrong un. Now, I might be doing him a great disservice, and it's only an alleged wrong un, because my friend on our show, when I said it on our show, Joe Beardsall pulled me up and said, "You can't say that. You've got to say alleged. You've got to say in your opinion." So, in my opinion, he's a wrong un, and we don't want Super Mario at our club, allegedly. We don't want him at our club. I don't, anyway, because he'll be a disruptive influence, in my opinion, allegedly, in the dressing room. And pressing game, you know, I think, is he idle? I wouldn't like to. Well, I would like to say, but you know, Joe Beardsall will tell me off when I see him in the next couple of days. So I don't think he'll suit our pressing game. I don't think he'd be very good for the dressing room. It'd have been good for the comic value that, you know, a team like Barnsley signing Mario Balotelli, but you know, no, thank you. No, thank you. It was never going to happen. I think it was the Sun newspaper. I think they found out about it well after the event. That's as I remember it. Well after the event, when it was. So it's been a non-story, but it sells papers, doesn't it?
It does. So there we go, Rovers fans. That one is a non-starter on Balotelli. We have, of course, got links to Barnsley in the other way, players who play for Rovers now. So Joe Rothwell, Harry Chapman, Adam Armstrong have all played for Barnsley. Thanks, Dan, for the comment there. Yeah, we've got Harry Chapman. He doesn't play much. He's had a bit of an eventful career with Rovers, actually. We had him on loan in our League One season, and he absolutely stormed it for about 6 to 8 games, I think it was. And then he tore his hamstring pretty bad. I think it was one of the worst ones he can do. And he had the whole season out, and then he was coming back into an under-23s game and tore it again. So he's been pretty injury prone. And then I don't know. He's just not come back the same player, not that same pacey player that you need to be down that wing. So he's really down the pecking order in our midfield, sadly. But he made a really good impression in League One. You know, in that 6 to 8 game spell, a lot of fans loved him and still long for that as well. And then, we've got Joe Rothwell, who I don't know what he was like at Barnsley, but he can absolutely, some games, turn it on and be the best player on the park. And then sometimes you don't get the Joe Rothwell that you know. I think he's slowly getting more consistent now, but he can be really dangerous at this level.
It were mixed fortunes for us, Joe. It's not something that I would have been particularly bothered about whether we signed or not. But certainly Harry Chapman, I really wish him well, because he was only a young lad. I think when he came to us on loan, I think he was only about 18, I think. And he looked an outstanding prospect. Like you said, he was quick. He could take players on. He created things. You know, he made things happen when he, you know, he's one of the, for us, he was one of those players that when he got the ball, the crowd got excited. The crowd were on the feet. So I'm really sad that his career stalled, and I sincerely hope that he gets it back on track and he gets his speed back. Because it was a really, really good player for us, I thought, anyway. So, you know, I wish him all the best, because, you know, we really liked him at Oakwell.
He was good for us as well. And I always remember Michael Owen talking about his hamstring injury, where he said his hamstring was never the same again. When he was running, he just didn't feel right. And I just don't know if Harry Chapman's got a bit of that. You know, he's just lost that little bit that, excuse me, made the difference. So it's a real shame. And as I say, he was great for us in League One for the time that he did play. Andy, just to pick up another comment, Luke saying that I'm getting hammered by you. So that's good.
Oh, well, I think Luke needs to go and watch a different show then. Oh, flipping heck.
He's part of the Rovers Chat team, I'm afraid, Andy. So,
oh, is it? Oh, flipping.
Yeah.
What about Silent Dan at the back? I've not heard out from Silent Dan.
Oh, he did put one comment in. Dan, bring your comment up. There you go. There's Silent Dan for you. Rothwell, Chapman, and Armstrong all played for Barnsley. There you go. Dan's
fact checker then.
He's the fact checker.
Silent Dan.
And then in the absence of any Rovers, Barnsley links in your playing squad, is there just anyone else you want to talk about in your team? One to watch for the future, someone who might cause a surprise this season, anyone that you really want to mention?
Well, I've mentioned Callum Styles, and he's the outstanding one. We've signed a couple of months ago Herbie Kane, who we signed from Liverpool. He was on loan for a year at Doncaster Rovers, and he played against us. Was a good player, and when he comes on, he's been coming on lately for Matty James, who we've got on loan from Leicester until January. Now, I don't know if Matty James is going to stay. He's out of contract at the end of the year, but he's on big money. As I understand it, anyway, at Leicester, more than we would afford if he wanted to maintain those wages. So he's playing well, but he's just been coming back from injury. So there's been times when he's come off and Herbie Kane's replaced him. There's going to come a time, maybe it'll be tomorrow. There'll come a time when Herbie Kane starts. He's a really that lad can control the midfield. If Herbie's on the pitch and we've got a free kick outside the box, be ready, because he's a dead ball specialist, and we haven't had until we think Alex Mowat, who's a good captain. There's a few of them have tried the hand at free kicks just out the box, and I think they're all playing. I think there's been times when they've all thought they're playing for Wigan Warriors, because it's all gone miles over the bar and not even close. Herbie could make a difference if he's on. Watch for Herbie. He's a steady midfield player that's got some class.
Yeah. So we've had another comment here, Andy, and just before we finish as well, Alexander Haven, what's the target for Barnsley this season?
Well, everybody's got different views, aren't they? My personal, I won't like to speak for anybody else, but my personal thing would be mid-table mediocrity, because it'll be a change. It'd be a big change from that yo-yo in from getting relegated. The devastating thing a couple of years ago when we got relegated on the last match of the season by flipping Bolton Wanderers, scoring 2 goals in the last minute to send us down when we thought we were up. When we were staying up, they sent us down, which is why we're all the sweeter when we didn't go down this last season. And then back up and then back down. So we've yo-yoed a bit. It'd be nice just to
enough in season.
Just not be flitting with relegation. There are a few people that, if we win a few games, like we'd won 4 or 5 games, 4 out of 5 games, and some people getting a bit giddy, and we're going up into the Premier League. We'll win European Champions Cup in 3 years time. But I think most people would just be happy for us not to be in a relegation scrap this season. I just need my heart to be able to get through the season without it jumping out of my chest all the time. So a bit of mediocrity.
Well, flipping Bolton Wanderers is a view shared on this show as well. So, sorry that they relegated you. But there we go. So this final part of the show, Andy, I'm really looking forward to, because I suspect you're going to have some good comments to make here. So it's the prediction time. How you think the game is going to go tomorrow. So let's have your score prediction. How you think the game's going to go. Scorers if you want as well.
You'll win 2-1.
Yeah.
But what you have to remember is that reverse psychology, though, Ryan. Is that reverse psychology? I reckon Adam Armstrong's going to put 2 goals in. Now, am I hexing him? It might be that I'm hexing him. You never know.
Tell me what you really think then, because you clearly don't think.
2-1. You're going to win 2-1.
2-1 Rovers. Okay. Well, it seems fairly inevitable that Armstrong's going to score, doesn't it? Given you've mentioned him so much on this show. So I think you have hexed him, but for all the wrong reasons for a Barnsley perspective. Rovers fans, please hit us with your comments and your predictions on the game tomorrow as well before we finish. I think it's going to be 3-1 Rovers, Andy. I think that you've spoken a lot about the way that you like to press and go for teams. And I've noticed that and was thoroughly impressed with you last season. And the fact that you said that it's not your natural game to sit back and contain sides, and you got found out a bit against Brentford, I think, yeah, we do like the ball and we do like to go forward quickly. And I think if you do try and contain us, it sounds like it's going to be a bit of an Achilles heel for you. So, yeah, 3-1 Rovers, I'm saying. I think you've got enough to score against us. So, yeah, what we got here? El Scotty. El Scotty's going for some reverse psychology on you, Andy. 6-0 Barnsley. There we go.
Listen, I know you want to go. Years ago, my brother has always predicted. He's a soft sod though. My brother, he always predicts that we're going to win 6-0. Right, and again, it's reverse side. For 2 seasons, he predicted that we were going to win 6-0. Of course, we never did. 2 seasons ago, towards the end of the season, we were beating Rochdale 5-0, and we had a Stonewall penalty turned down that had made it 6-0. So we only won 5-0. Now, you'd think, I was happy as Larry that we'd won 5-0. For 3 years now, all my brother can talk about is it should have been. He's not at all happy that we won 5-0. Should have been 6. So, you're Scott, if they win 5-0, have the face on, kid. Have the face on. You've only won 5-0.
Did he have a bet on it then? Has he been betting on 6-0?
No. Just listen, when we're at Oatwell, I mean, the only good thing about the lockdown is that I'm not having to sit next to my brother at Oatwell. But for 90 minutes, I've got him in my ear, and he's a real moaner. He's 62. He's a real moaner. He can't help himself, and it's just too much, because if we're winning 5-0, it should have been 6. He's still more. He can't I think he was switched at birth. I don't think he's up to do it.
Brilliant.
Anyway, if you do an after show, bring some tissues. You might need them. Right? You might need a few tissues for yourself.
Well, I don't think the Rovers fans agree, Andy. So we've had quite a few predictions now. Mark Whittle 2-1 Rovers 2. Barnsley 1, Dizzy Thumbs 3-2 Rovers, Kevin Bradshaw 4-1 Rovers, Armstrong hat-trick. Luke Kimberley, hate to do this to such a good bloke, been a fantastic watch, but 4-0 Rovers, Armers gets 2. Jake Ormisher 3-1 Rovers, Alexander Haber now go 2 or 3-1 to Rovers. And Chris Hall, I work with a Barnsley lad here in Adelaide. There's a bottle of Barossa Shiraz riding in this. There we go. And
Australian wine? Nah, not good. French wine, that's what he needs. Never mind that Australian stuff. The only thing I would say, Ryan, is you've won 3-0 in midweek. So they're all going to be buoyed up, aren't they? When we win 3-0, everybody's up, and we're going to win the next game 3-0, 4-0, 5-0. We're going to thrash them. They're not going to live with us and all that. When you lose tomorrow, even though I don't think it, when you lose tomorrow, see what the predictions are for the next match midweek next week. It'll all be different. It'll be different. They're all getting. It's a shame, isn't it? Like Barnsley fans, you're getting giddy. You're just getting giddy. Never mind.
Yeah. Well, I think we've made a good impression tonight, Andy. I'm going to finish with a couple of comments. One from Luke Kimberley, Laurel and Hardy. That's how he thinks we've been tonight. And
he's having a go at me for being overweight. He's having a dig, isn't he? He's having a dig at me weight. Anyway.
And then Mark Whittle, hopefully Barnsley stay up so we can get Andy back on here next season. So yeah, you've been you've been awesome tonight, Andy. I've really enjoyed chatting to you, and you've brightened up a very cold, very freezing Friday night in this garage. El Scotty, this episode is class. So yeah, thanks, Andy. Thanks ever so much for joining us and giving your own unique insight on Barnsley FC, who I do think go under the radar. And actually, you are more than just, that traditional South Yorkshire Barnsley, club. You've got a bit more about you. You've got a philosophy. You like to play football. And I think if you can keep that young squad together, then who knows where you'll be in a couple of seasons. So why not in that regard?
Silent Dan for me as well.
Silent Dan, do you want to have the right of reply and say bye to Andy as well? There we go. So, Rovers fans, that is it tonight for On the Other Side. As I say, thanks to Andy for joining us. Andy, do you want to just plug your YouTube channel for us? Because I'm sure that everyone will be hoping that your channel goes from strength to strength with how much of a blast you've been tonight. So, give it a plug. What's it all about?
Right, it's a Barnsley YouTube show. It's called Red All Over, because obviously we're playing red, playing red all over. Joe Beardsall was a radio presenter, as the presenter of it. Myself and Alan Smith, who are long-lasting fans from 60 years. We get some others. We've got some younger ones on. Danny, Josh, John, Rob comes on. We've started this season. We only started right at the start of the season. We've got, I think, at the last show in 571 subscribers, which ain't bad. It's gradually grown, and for that we're pleased. It's obviously a show about Barnsley, but because we know each other so well, we have a lot of banter, and a bit like you and me, being Ryan. I give a bit, but I usually get a bit as well. But even for non-Barnsley fans, there's a few people that comment and say it's like Comedy Central. That it's not just about. It's obviously a Barnsley show, but it's not just about Barnsley. I truthfully think that anybody who enjoys football would enjoy subscribing, dipping into the show, and having a bit of a laugh with us, and probably a bit of a laugh at us. We've got all sorts of fans. We've got Huddersfield fans, Wolverhampton fans, Ipswich fans, Luton fans as well. So we've got a number of ties with players that are currently in the Luton squad. So we get a lot, and we enjoy it. I think, like you have shown for yourselves, there's a lot of love for the club and for football in general. So I honestly think it's well worth a watch. Even if you're a Blackburn fan, even if you come from Lancashire, it's a good watch.
So that's Red All Over on YouTube. Yeah, Red All Over. So there you go. If you want to stoke up the War of the Roses with Andy, go and join him on Red All Over. He's giving you 2 little shots tonight if you are from Lancashire. So go and join him. Go and give him some good banter. Go and give him some stick. And honestly, Andy, I hope your channel goes from strength to strength, because I've really enjoyed the chat tonight. So thank you. And Rovers fans, if you're not following us on Twitter, it's Rovers_chat on Twitter, and we are Rovers Chat on YouTube. So please subscribe to our channel. So Andy, we are going to finish with a message from our sponsors, who I think probably have some Barnsley FC merchandise on there. You should go and check them out. You can get a mug just like that one, look. So go and have a look at them. 6yardsout.com. Andy, you have a great evening and enjoy the game tomorrow, but not too much. See you later. See you, mate.
The Rovers Chat YouTube channel is proudly sponsored by 6yardsout.com. They've got retro football from every era with mugs, phone cases and much more. They also have plenty of Rovers goods, including apparel with the famous 94-95 season and this season's kit. Check them out using the link in the description below.